Hi, guys. I know it's been a while since I've been on, but I wanted to share something with you today about manifesting, of course. I hope it's a great day wherever you are. So, I actually woke up to a video about from Sammy Ingram this morning. I love her. What I always had liked about Sammy is like she was teaching kind of what I was already saying. So it's really cool. So I guess I want to piggyback a little bit off of what she said simply because we've already been talking about this in my real life world. And I just want to see if I can help other people a little bit, just based on how I have done things. So as far as manifesting goes, I think most people who are into manifesting know by now it's something that we do all the time, and we have been since day one. We can't help but to manifest. It's like our nature. We are spirits utilizing these lovely bodies, right? But we are spirit. We are consciousness. We are source. We are God. And we are just using these bodies for this adventure. This adventure that should be joyful and fun and stress free and no limits. Wake up. That's why we're here. I don't know who told you anything else. And I'm just going to say, from my point of view, that's why we're here, to have a freaking good time. Okay. So, as far as manifesting goes, we do this in various ways based on who we are, where we're from, what our habits are. And I want to give you an example how, when several years ago, before I knew about manifesting, I had manifested some shoes. And what I had done is apparently I found a picture and I had put it on a piece of paper. And I just kept looking at it thinking, I really would love these shoes. They were kind of, they were like you could tell they were like a good quality shoe. It was like a Mary Jane type shoe with a little thing across, and they were very delicate. And I thought I would really like these shoes. So I put it on this piece of paper, set it aside. And I realized at the time I also had other things that I had put on paper, and I just kind of put them together and put them away. Well, at some point later, I don't know how long, because I really wasn't thinking of it as doing anything other than putting an image in my memory, right? I've always liked to shop, right? So I just thought at that point in time, in order to keep things going without me having to worry about what I wanted, obviously, like I said, I was using pictures. So one day, I was sitting in the room and I happened to look down at my shoes, and it occurred to me I'd seen those shoes before. And I went and I found this piece of paper that had that image on it of the shoe that was on my foot. And so for me, I have an example of how something had happened to show me that I was always manifesting. And obviously that's one of, thousands and thousands of things that's happened in my lifetime. But the point of the example is that I did it without realizing it. So it's important for you to find out how you are manifesting things. Like if you have found yourself with something you've already always wanted, how did you do that? Do you remember how you went from not having your desired item to having it? That's what's important. Look back and see if you can find how you got to that point. Was it struggling and saving for 5 years? Maybe. Or was it that you had a thought one day and then suddenly you had it? And you maybe didn't even realize that you initiated it when you had the thought. Okay. So that's how we had been doing it over our lifetimes. A lot of times we would have a thought, say we were hungry, we want something, and then someone would walk in the door with it, and you go, I was just thinking about that. And we don't think of that as manifesting, but it is. That's the thing. So many things we do, we don't realize how special they are or how natural they are. Because when you manifest things, they come about naturally. Like the shoes. It was suddenly I had bought them and I was wearing them, And I didn't even remember the picture until one day, I remembered, and there was the proof that I had wanted it. So when you're making a list to manifest, that is going to be the proof that you wanted something, because again, your manifestation will come naturally in your way of living your life, right? So I think that is very important for us to remember about manifesting, is that it's so natural. We don't always realize that we're doing it. And even when we have what we want, we don't realize that we initiated it by thinking about it or having a feeling about it. You could see something on television and think, oh, that would be really cool. As a matter of fact, I saw something 2 nights ago, and I wrote it down because I thought, I really want this thing. It's some kind of an ice creamy thing, and it's freezing right now. But in my mind, I thought that would be really cool to have. So I know I'm going to get it. But it's just interesting because that would be something that you would see and think about for a minute and just kind of think, that would be so cool to have that. And then one day I'm going to turn around and I'll have it in my hand and I'll be like, hey, I wanted this. But it's not always like a big, to do when something happens that you've initiated, because it's just a natural part of living. So the secret of all secrets is manifesting is a natural part of living. And the only reason we're having so many issues with it is that we weren't told that this was part of our life. It was something put to the side because, I have to be honest, sometimes when I'm looking at information about manifesting, I wonder, maybe there are people who don't need to know just because of the way they think. That's not right, because that's me judging people. And honestly, if you realize how reality works, you'll understand there is no right, there is no wrong. Consciousness is neutral. When you want something, you get what you want. So that's why we have to be careful about what we're thinking. Whether we consider it good or bad, it's not. It just is, right? So that's something I really wanted to share. It's based on who you are and how you deal with life. That is how your manifesting desires will come to you. Of course, you can decide that you want something. You can write it down. You can feel how wonderful it's going to be to have it and let it go. Or you could do affirmations about it, which are simply new thoughts that you're having. Instead of having a thought like, oh my God, I always have such a bad day, start having the thought that I always have good days and every day is magical. And it's just something that will become a habit over time. And yeah, that's really the main thing, is to know you're doing it and that it's not impossible. It's not something new age. It's like for all of the ages that have ever existed on this planet, this is what we do. This is why we're here, for this adventure and this joy and this fun. So make your life fun. If you're affirming, make it fun. While you're living, make it fun. Joy, joy, joy. I think that's one of the keys to anything, is to have fun doing it. So for the rest of your day, go and have some fun. Leave feedback for more topics.